Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a very beginner swirl. So if you have not done any design techniques with your soaps so far, this is a very easy way to get your feet wet with swirling and whatnot. So anyway, this particular soap is made with a pink, a purple, and a French white shimmer. The French white shimmer is very, very sparkly, and the pictures in the end don't do it very much justice because it's just, even with an opaque soap, you can't really see sparkles very well, but these are very much on the surface. So all I'm doing here is what I normally do, is I'm mixing my colors with a little bit of the fractionated coconut oil or MCT oil, and I'm just mixing these up pretty well. The fragrance I'm going to be using today is called Amazingly Grace, which I think that's kind of a silly name, but I'll link it in the description below. It's from Nature's Garden Candle, and I've never used it before, but it had some pretty good reviews as far as like the what it does in soap, and pretty much behaves pretty well, etc., etc. So I was trusting those reviews, and you'll see here in a minute what happens with that particular fragrance. But it smells really good. It's supposed to be a dupe of the Philosophy Amazing Grace, and yeah. And oh, and I forgot I did have this little gold mica swirl in the middle. So I do really like incorporating these mica swirls just because it gives like a really interesting veining effect in your soap. So anyway, here's my hard oils fresh off the stove, and it's 116 degrees, so I do like to melt my hard oils and then add my liquid oils in there to lower the temperature, and there's the fragrance. So it goes from 116 degrees to about 90, 91. I don't know why. I just was mixing this for a little while, so I sped it up a bit. But it lowered the temperature a little bit. So, and there's my lye solution, and if you haven't seen how I make lye, I will also link that here. It didn't take long for me to mix this, but if you if you can tell with the color, that fragrance turned my batter yellow, like very yellow. But since the fragrance doesn't have that noted on the website, I was just gonna trust the process and let it go. So I added my white to the bulk of it, and I'm adding pink to just a little bit, which in retrospect I probably should have used less pink and less purple, but I really wasn't using much at all. You can see in here how little I was actually using of the batter versus the white. So with the yellow tinting, it does kind of skew your colors a bit. Like this is kind of turning a grayish color just because, like, purple and yellow cancel each other out. But again, trust the process. So an in the pot swirl is basically like you just take your color and you dump it in your main pot. So in this case, it's my French white shimmer. You kind of lower and raise to like kind of create depth with the gravity of your batter in there, and just kind of make this little like tie-dye looking thing. I'm doing the same thing with this mica shimmer. So all I'm doing here is then I'm going to cut through there and give it a quick little spin, not much, just a little, and then just pour it in my mold. That's all I'm doing. And then there's, again, with the heights and stuff, you can raise and lower it to cause the batter to go up and down in the soap and create more swirling effects that way. And you can see that it doesn't look very pretty, but it's, trust the process. I added a little mica swirl on the top. I do love to do that. And just like with my usual process, I take this and I put it in my crock pot because this particular mold fits perfectly in there. And here it is the next day. So you can see that yellow went away and it's totally white again. So that's why I say trust the process. If everything you know about that fragrance is, one way and then it starts soaping another way, just, carry on and just keep it going. And you'll, in this particular case, like I said, I just trusted the process and it came out fine. So In the pot swirl is basically just that. It's like a random swirling that happens, and you don't know what you're going to get. You can see that in some of those areas, you see kind of like a teardrop shape, and that's just basically the act of the soap plunking into the batter. And that's totally normal. You can actually manipulate those kind of techniques to create something completely different. But in this case, this is just a basic technique for you to try if you have never tried swirling with color. I usually like to trim my soap with a vegetable peeler to make it because as it hardens, the corners and stuff can hurt. But anyway, so I named this one Demetra because that's the name of a character in my fantasy book, Reaper's Gamble, and she is pretty much known for being like basically purple and pink. There's the color ratios for you there, and that's it. So I hope that you got something out of this technique. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to leave it in the comments. You can sign up for my newsletter at reholdingauthor.com, and it's on Substack, and I would love to see you over there. But again, thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!